In this video, I will show you the best change management practices for increasing adoption for Monday.com implementation and helping you reduce resistance. This is based on the same methodology that I used at organizations like Apple, Microsoft, Cisco, and many more to drive organizational change management successes. When doing organizational change management for any Monday.com initiative, there are four change management phases you want to be aware of. Phase one is where you assess readiness. Phase two is where you design and develop your change management deliverables for the Monday.com implementation. Phase three is where you implement your change activities. And then phase four is where you reinforce and sustain the Monday.com new behaviors. Next, I will go over each of these phases in detail, starting with phase one. For phase one, there are 6 change readiness assessments you should conduct to help you really understand how ready your organization is to adopt the Monday.com rollout. Here's what is very important with these 6 readiness assessments. Your findings will tell you exactly where you and your team should focus your Monday.com change management implementation efforts. The first assessment is for you to understand, is the culture of impacted groups ready to accept, embrace, and adopt a transformational Monday.com implementation? You want to use surveys or focus groups to gather the information that can help you answer this key question. At the end of this video, I will give you a free readiness survey that you can use to assess cultural receptiveness to the Monday.com implementation. Second assessment is for you to conduct a detailed change impact assessment from your Monday.com rollout. What impacted groups need to be documented? What processes are changing? What systems are changing? You want to ensure you capture all of that information in your Monday.com change impact assessment template. And on my screen, you are looking at a free template, which I will give to you for free at the end of this call. The next assessment is to identify resistance that might derail your Monday.com change implementation. And to conduct your change resistance assessments, you can use the free resistance management template I am sharing on my screen. Now, something to keep in mind is this. As you implement your Monday.com change management activities and you populate this template, you want to ensure you keep this template confidential and show it to people only on a needs-to-know basis. As you can see, just taking a look at this template on my screen, there are individual information. So this is all sample information for now, but when you get access to this template, go ahead and delete the sample data and then enter your relevant information. So if there are people within your organization that are resisting the Monday.com implementation, enter their names here. If there are groups or departments that are holistically resisting, enter those departments here, and also state their resistance level and what resistance mitigation activities will be done to mitigate the resistance to the Monday.com implementation. You also want to ensure you map your stakeholders. Stakeholder mapping for any Monday.com implementation ensures that everyone impacted by the Monday.com implementation is identified and engaged appropriately. You can use this free stakeholder mapping template that I currently have on my screen. Just make sure you delete the sample data and enter relevant data for your organization. The other assessment for you to conduct is what we call an enablement needs assessment. Now, you might be thinking, what exactly is an enablement needs assessment. Well, different departments and groups often have different preferences for how they want to receive change management. Some groups prefer uh, brief communications. Some groups prefer their leaders to be the ones cascading communications. Some groups are fine with champions sending them information, right? So you want to ensure you capture how do the respective Monday.com implementation impacted groups like to receive communication, how they like to receive training, how they like to receive briefing sessions. Now, the sixth assessment for you to conduct is to send out a readiness survey to help you gather the level of awareness about the Monday.com implementation, the level of receptiveness to the Monday.com rollout, knowledge of the change, and more. This is the survey that I mentioned a few minutes ago. At the end of this video, I will give you access to this survey for free, okay? Now, before we dive into phase two, if you need someone to help you do the change management heavy lifting to help ensure that you and your organization are successful, don't hesitate to reach out to me. See the link below. Now, phase two is the design and develop phase for your Monday.com rollout. During this phase two is where you will be designing and developing your change management strategies, as well as your step-by-step change management plans that involves communications plans, engagement plans, champion onboarding plans, and many more. The goal of this phase is for you to develop the materials and assets that you will need to communicate, enable, train, and support impacted users to help them adopt the Monday.com implementation within your organization. You will want to create your strategies for how change management will be delivered. The strategies on my screen cover all angles from communication and engagement to resistance management and training. There is a strategic playbook, a change management strategic playbook that I have used again and again for all my change management implementations as a change management consultant. And I use this playbook a lot for doing change management for Monday.com implementation. I will give this to you for free at the end of this video, but let me show you quickly what it looks like. When you get into the strategic playbook template, which is in PowerPoint, you will see this cover slide, which is the first slide. You click and then you get to this strategic playbook overview slide. And this slide provides a quick summary of the recommended strategies that you want to consider to help increase change adoption for any project that you might be implementing. As we go through this strategic playbook, I will highlight some key information that you need to know. The first one is when you access and you are using this template playbook, you want to ensure that you include impacted audience. Which groups or personas or job roles will be impacted by your project? You also want to include the level or the severity of impact and ensure that you socialize this slide with stakeholders and also leadership. Your communication strategies, you can leverage the ones that we currently have here on the template, but we recommend that you implement a hybrid communication approach that involves a top-down and a bottom-up approach. What exactly is this? With the top-down, and here is a visual representation, with the top-down, the change and program team are providing communications to leaders and managers and asking them to cascade those communications to end users. For the bottom up, it starts from the bottom. The change and the program team, including the champions, are sending up communications to everyone. That's a bottom up. And so your approach is to use both of them, which is why we call it a hybrid approach. It is very effective to increase change management successes. Within the playbook, you will notice we have also included the channels that you can use to communicate out your change project. This is a template, meaning you have to take this and make changes to it to ensure it matches your project and also your organization. Another strategy included here is the engagement strategy. And here you would notice we propose you do a two-way communication and engagement approach. What is the difference between communication and engagement? Well, engagement really is the interactive component of communicating a change. It involves doing briefings, conducting meetings, doing roadshows, giving people the opportunity to ask questions in real time. So you want to include what we are looking at here on this slide as part of your engagement strategies. And here we are actually providing visual views of the different channels you will want to consider using as part of your strategies for engaging impacted users. So there is a kickoff event, there are roadshows, town halls, focus meetings, and you also have interactive workshops, conduct focus groups, feedback sessions, engage your champions with regular meetings, conduct drop-in support calls, do virtual Q&A sessions, and also have stakeholder roundtables. Now, obviously, it might not be possible for you to do every single one of these, which is fine. The goal is we are presenting you with a portfolio of options. It is up to you to determine which one or two or three or four you have the bandwidth and the capability to implement. Another strategy included here is how to mitigate resistance. You want to apply a proactive and a reactive approach. A proactive approach is identifying where resistance will come from and then developing the plans to ensure it doesn't come up. Reactive is when you identify resistance and then you have to mitigate that. This strategic playbook also includes strategies for engaging with leaders and also sponsors. And you can see here, we have included respective activity types, cadence, how often, and also the purpose. And then there is also strategies for your change champion network, as well as strategies for your training deliverables. Here we've included different strategies to help increase your success. Now, once again, that was a quick overview of the strategic playbook, which is free. And the goal is you take this template and you customize it to match your purpose, your project, and your organization. So after finalizing your strategies using the free change management strategic playbook that I just went over, the next step is for you to create your step-by-step detailed change management plans. And if you take a look at my screen, you will see some of the key monday.com change management implementation plans that are outlined on this slide. That includes your engagement plan, your communication plan, your training plan, your change champion plans, your resistance management plan that includes details as well as a template for how you will manage your resistance. All of these together ensure that your monday.com change management implementation is not just planned, but executed in a structured, measurable, and successful way. You also want to create your communication assets. These are things you will use to drive awareness and engagement during your monday.com implementation. For example, if you take a look at the top left section on my screen, you see where it says invite. Well, you will want to create invites for kickoff sessions, onboarding, as well as training reminders. And then if you look at the middle where it says emails, you will want to create emails that are not really super long emails, but rather emails that are broken up into sections. People don't like to read an entire page that is just one block of text, right? You want to ensure you break things up into sections to make it easy for people to digest. Use emails for providing updates about the Monday implementation, for providing get ready and countdown change communications. Also use emails for your monday.com go live announcements and also post go live messages. And then if you look at the right of my screen where it says newsletters, you want to use these types of newsletters to maintain momentum and also share success stories and keep people excited and also engaged. Here's the key. The key is consistency. Make sure you are communicating early about the monday.com implementation. You are communicating often and you are using multiple formats and channels. That way, the messages land across all audiences who will be impacted by your organization's monday.com implementation. You also want to create materials for onboarding, engaging, and equipping your change champions who will support your monday.com initiative. Such materials should include a monday.com champion onboarding kickoff deck, as well as a change champion toolkit. Out of the many resources I will provide to you for free at the end of this video, I will also provide you with a free champion onboarding kickoff deck PowerPoint template for you to use. Okay? In addition, when rolling out your monday.com change management activities, you also want to make sure you create leadership engagement materials to help leaders actively champion the monday.com implementation. Take a look at the bottom right of my screen. You see where it says Leader Action Roadmap? What exactly is that? It is actually a one-pager that you put together in PowerPoint, and it is very, very easy to put together. You can literally take the format that I am sharing with you on my screen and just use that. What this Leader Action Roadmap is a tool that helps leaders clarify what is expected of them before, during, and after the monday.com implementation. Leaders really appreciate when they have a one slider that shows them, for example, hey, leaders, for number one, we need you to attend this champion onboarding kickoff. Or, hey, leader, for number two, we need you to encourage your people to attend training. Hey, leader, for number three, we need you to do X, Y, Z, right? That's basically what this action roadmap is. It helps your leaders understand when they are needed, before, during, and after the implementation of the monday.com rollout. You also want to ensure that you develop persona-based training materials and assets. What do I mean by persona-based? Persona-based just means you take a group of people and you group them together based on commonalities. For example, one persona could be the marketing team. So anyone within marketing can be a persona. Another example is IT. Everyone within IT can be a persona. Everyone within manufacturing can be one persona. That's an example of personas. The other examples, for example, within marketing, marketing operations could be one persona. Another persona could be frontline marketing managers, could be another persona, right? So basically, you want to ensure you're providing training based on personas. One size does not fit all when it comes to doing training for monday.com implementation. You also want to create a centralized hub where all of these resources will be kept. These resources include soundbite videos, long videos, guides, checklists, handbooks, and many more. When I do organizational change management for organizations to help them implement monday.com, I also put together a centralized hub where all of these resources are saved to. Oftentimes, organizations have SharePoint, and so I use SharePoint for this centralized hub. But you can use any platform that your organization is using. Okay. Now, before we go on, if you are finding value in this video, please give this video a like. That really helps me a lot. In addition, giving this video a like lets me know that you found this video useful. And the more likes we get, the more YouTube will recommend this video to others, because YouTube will see that there is value in this video. So please do give this video a like if you like this video. Let's now go on to the next phase. All right, so now we move on to phase 3 of our change management implementation for any monday.com rollout. During phase 3 is where we implement our change management deliverables as well as change management strategies. For this particular phase, you will deliver your targeted communications through email, town halls, newsletters, videos, as well as the monday.com change management enablement website that I mentioned earlier, that I normally put together using SharePoint, but your organization might be using a different intranet, in which case you want to use what your organization has. Keep your messages transparent and also consistent. The goal is this. You want to make sure that everyone impacted by the monday.com initiative, every audience is getting the right information at the right time through the right channels. You want to build excitement, readiness, and sustain adoption of monday.com. Use this template on my screen that I am going to be providing to you for free for your change management communication plan for your monday.com initiative. It is also during this phase that you will launch, manage, and support your change champions for your monday.com rollout. You want to start with a champion kickoff meeting where you go over roles and responsibilities and what it really means to be a champion for monday.com rollout. You also want to ensure you deliver a white glove session or onboarding and coaching for leaders who will be impacted by the monday.com rollout. This helps leaders get a personalized understanding of what's in it for them for adopting the monday.com processes and changes, and how the tool will benefit them personally in their day-to-day job function. I recommend that you do a one-on-one session. That way leaders can ask questions and each session can be focused on them. But if that is not possible, then you can use a hybrid, whereby for some leaders you do a one-on-one and others you have a small group session with those leaders. You also want to ensure you deliver broad-based hands-on training to equip all users with the right knowledge, skills, and confidence to use monday.com effectively. You can conduct virtual training sessions to go over what is changing, as well as to educate people. You can conduct in-person training sessions based on people's preferences. So remember how in the beginning of this video, I mentioned you should conduct an enablement needs assessment. You remember when I said that? Well, this is really where it becomes very important for you to implement the preferences that people are telling you. So if there was a particular impacted department who say we prefer in-person training, well, you don't want to give them virtual training, right? You want to ensure you give them in-person training. Now, you can include a virtual dial-in session for the in-person training, but you want to make sure you give them in-person training. Other organizations might say they prefer virtual, in which case you want to give them a virtual training. You also want to conduct office hours. That way, anyone that has questions or need help, they can dial into the meeting, the office hours meeting, and ask questions or seek help. You can also deliver train the training sessions where you train the champions and then have the champions also deliver a training. During this phase, you will also be managing resistance proactively and reactively. Here is something that is very important for you when rolling out change management for Monday.com. Use your champions, use your leaders to mitigate resistance. You don't have to do it all. And it's not even feasible for you to do it all because you don't have those relationships with people that are resistant, right? So you need the champions, you need leaders to help. You can use this risk mitigation template on my screen to support your exercise. You also want to ensure you are tracking adoption metrics like how frequently are people using the new processes for the Monday.com, track usage of the Monday.com tool, also track training completion and also FAQs. Okay. Phase 4 is where we sustain and reinforce the new behaviors for the Monday.com implementation. During this final phase, you will want to start by maintaining your Monday.com change champion network as well as your feedback loops. Keep champions and leaders engaged through regular touch points. That can be monthly and then progress to quarterly meetings or via surveys as well as success storytelling. Next, continue office hours and user support to provide ongoing help. And when needed, this will give you the opportunity to refresh any Monday.com training. So, for example, you can send out an email and say, hey, everyone, we have office hours this Thursday. And as part of the office hours, we will provide a refresher of some frequently asked questions that people are asking about using Monday.com. We will provide a refresh training around those types of questions. Just an example. Okay. All right. Now, you also want to ensure you continue to measure adoption during the sustain phase for your Monday.com rollout. Continue to track usage, engagement, as well as identifying if adoption is falling off over time. Capture and integrate lessons learned is something else for you to do as part of your Monday.com new behavior sustaining those new behaviors. Capturing and integrating lessons learned will ensure that future implementation will benefit from this experience. And then you also want to reinforce and recognize adoption by celebrating success stories, highlighting top users, and showing the impact the change is having, the positive impact the change is having. Something that I normally do as a senior change management consultant to help increase my success is I draft recognition emails. I give those to leadership and I say, please cascade this to your organization to recognize these individuals that are top users of the Monday.com changes. What that does is people that are recognized, they get more incentive to continue to adopt Monday.com. People that were not recognized, it gives them the incentive to want to go in and do more, to use Monday.com. That way, in the future, they can be recognized. So very, very important for you to do. Okay. All right. Now, let us do a quick summary so you can see everything in one slide. This is absolutely important. This is a build slide, so wait until I am done building and then take a screenshot. Very important for you to do. You can also rewind this video to come back to this slide and take the screenshot. So here we go. Phase 1, I start out by conducting 8 change readiness assessments for any Monday.com implementation that I am doing to identify how ready is my client or how ready is my organization to adopt the Monday.com platform. I then go into the design and develop phase where I build the change management strategies for rolling out the Monday.com change management activities. This is where I also develop the detailed change management plans as well as the materials and assets for delivering change management to impacted users. Third, uh, the third phase is where I implement the change deliverables and also track adoption to sustain the Monday.com implementation. And when you look at this slide, you will see a list of the different activities and deliverables that I deliver, which is one of the reasons why I keep on getting rated as one of the top change management consultant. It's very simple, really. By using this flexible framework that you are seeing on my screen, you yourself can be considered and continuously rated by your leaders, by your departments, by your organization as a top change management consultant or change management manager, because people see that you are applying a flexible change management framework. The fourth phase is where we sustain and reinforce the change. During this fourth phase, we embed the new behaviors into day to day operations. Now, something else for you to keep in mind is this: what I am sharing with you on this slide, this four phase approach, is time bound and scalable. What do I mean by that? Well, when you implement this four phase framework, you can apply it for a small pilot, or you can expand it enterprise wide using the same four phase structure. That is what I mean by each phase is time bound. Uh, Readiness assessment can be 4 weeks if it's a small engagement or if it's a pilot, or it could be 8 weeks if it's a global level implementation. Now, doing change management is not easy. People develop habits. And as we know, habits are one of the most difficult things to change. And so organizations often hire my change management consulting firm to help them achieve the best change management successes for their program and to help reduce resistance to any Monday.com implementation, as well as to help increase adoption. If you need help, or if you have any questions, or if you need somebody to brainstorm with or bounce ideas off, don't hesitate to reach out to me. See the link below. Also below, you will find the link to the free readiness survey that I mentioned multiple times during this video for you to download and start using. But not only that, I am also giving you the link to our free library of change management resources that includes between 20 to 30 free templates, checklists, and materials that you can use for free just by downloading them. And once again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you need help, let me know. And don't forget to like this video, as that lets me know that you have received value from it. You can also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss great content like this one.